Welcome back to Visionary Voices. So, as promised, I am looking for a diversification in these interactions also. And as promised, where we have told you that we'll be talking to eminent people from a variety of courses, those who can directly talk to you and help you out in actually taking a informed decision. So, I'm now entering into legal education side, that is law, 5-year law program. So you guys will be, glad to listen that now we are in a mode where we are helping you out to understand these programs in detail और उन लोगों के साथ जो इस प्रोग्राम को दिन रात 15-20 सालों से करते आ रहे हैं. I have Professor Sujata Bali. She's a postgraduate from Nalsar, Hyderabad. CLAT people, CLAT aspirants. You guys look for actually NLUs. You look for these colleges. So ma'am is a postgraduate from Nalsar. And currently she is Dean at IILM Law School, Gurugram. Good part is ma'am ने शुरू से ही academic entry लिया. I mean from day one she entered into academics and started teaching. So she is very well versed with all aspects of legal education as she is doing it from past 2 decades. Ma'am, welcome on board for this interaction and this discussion. I hope these kids, since you cannot go and interact with everyone, this is probably one of the best platform where we can interact and give them inputs and knowledge. So I'll be talking to you on those aspects which typically a CLAT student who is at a stage where he's still, in a dilemma that what should I do? Should I even go for this course or not? Should I join this college or not? Should I join this college or not? Should I look for colleges other than NLUs or not? So he's actually in a very confused stage. वो क्लैट की तैयारी कर रहा होता है बहुत बार peer pressure में, उसे पता ही नहीं होता ये करना है या नहीं करना. I go and ask them that why are you preparing for law? My batchmates were doing it, so I'm doing it. So we are actually trying to, clear or we are trying to remove this confused stage. थोड़ी सी हम इनके brain की सफाई करने की कोशिश करते हैं. And we have done such interactions with management people and a couple of people who have done it for corporates. So now we are entering into legal education also, and we'll be doing it for law aspirants also. So ma'am, my first and the foremost question, since you are in this field from past 20 years or so, you will have to first tell me that what are the career opportunities for students who are graduating out of 5 years, typically both in traditional legal practices and alternate options.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here today. And you started with the right point, confusion. But I guess all the magic happens in that confusion. We get to know what we want really in life. So being confused is actually a good state of mind where you are trying to know. But what you need is basically information, which I'm here to provide you today. So I would say traditionally in law, we have all seen the people wearing black coats and white shirts. The epitome of the advocacy is definitely a good choice, always has been and always will be. So traditionally we have been looking at options like being an advocate, being counsels for government offices, sometimes looking at the PSUs, looking at academia also as an option, in the long run as a traditional option. But with time, with technology changed, and of course with the advent of the 5-year law courses in India, suddenly there was a new form of profession which people started looking at, that was essentially working for the law firms. So law firms, as I would explain in the classrooms, is technically a partnership. So it's looking at doing practice of law but in a partnership with another individual, which created a lot of job opportunities with a good pay band at this initiation of the globalization. One particular reason for that would be privatization. More private sector meant more business, business meant more contracts meant more disputes, and more disputes meant more business for the law firms to be carried out. So that turned into a major options beyond 1990s for the law students who were pursuing the law. Now, looking at the 21st century, nobody looked at technology as it is today. For us, it was technology for listening to music or entertaining ourselves at times through phone calls and other things. But today it is business. Today technology has changed legal landscape entirely. So there is automation, there is blockchain technology, which is changing how secure the documents can be. So suddenly, instead of litigating in the court of law whether there is a forgery in the document, you are looking, oh, it's secure through blockchain technology. Tomorrow there will not be a dispute about that. So all that has kind of shifted the work which we were doing till the 1990s were there. It may seem like a challenge that, oh, what will we do now if our work is being done by artificial intelligence or blockchain technology? But I guess that's a blessing. Now we can move on from not the part where we were looking at the documents and sometimes getting bored looking at the same documents, doing the vetting. Now we can look at the critical thinking part of the law. Law has always been a game changer and social changer as well. There is no doubt about it. From our freedom fighters to the emergency times to every other place, we have seen that law people have something unique called critical thinking, which is the true asset of a law person. That means when we think, we've come up with solutions which are amicable with everything: technology, society, finance, businesses. So that's where our acumen will be applied now. So we will now look at, I'm hoping in the coming years, in the 2030s, more of the students and law aspirants looking at litigation as a work wherein new questions or sometimes the pending questions of the society. So how much soever we may claim as a country that we are looking at technology and the advancement and developments, there are some social issues which still are nagging us. Those pending social issues will get the due attention of the lawmakers and the law changers now, and we will look at now that what the tasks which can be carried out by the technology can give us more time and space to work on the other issues which have been pending in India.
Okay, so you mean to say that other than practices, legal practice, other than corporates, other than judiciary, other than bureaucracy, these kids will now be entering into maybe a kind of a legal aid organizations also.
Right, and also there is a lot of policy work.
Policy work.
It's something which no law students were earlier looking at as an option, because policy work was left for the people who are slightly into public policy primarily. But we now see that all laws start from public policy. So this kind of background in the law will also allow the students to go towards the policy making, towards, of course, international organizations as well now. And though at this point of time, other countries have started looking at the professional service providers, the big fours, have started looking at the option of providing legal services. So we will see a synchronization wherein legal service will not be any different from the other services which are being rendered. Right now in India there is a bar, but I'm hoping in future that bar will be lifted up, and then we will definitely have an option of entering the professional services at more sophisticated manner.
Ma'am, you just quoted that there is AI, there is automation, there is technology. So these are recent changes. Right. So how we have implemented these changes in our current education system? Because I also did my law long back in 2000, but then it has completely changed now. So what are the changes? What is this evolution that these kids are facing in the classroom or getting in the classroom, I would say? And to synchronize AI, automation, tech, what changes we implement in our teaching pedagogy?
That's a very interesting question and very relevant to me as an academic. We keep asking that how we can do better. So this is where technology came, and technology told us that we can teach more students, we can teach them more efficiently. The students can learn at their own pace. For a quiz, for example, now right at this point of time, I can just give the quiz on learner management platform and leave it to the student to do it at their own time, instead of using my lecture for doing that entire exercise. So kind of like, it's more like learning can happen 24/7 because of technology now. Earlier, which was limited to the classroom. Now there is technology facilitation in the terms of edutech. if we go very much back, apart from the blackboard, now there are whiteboards. The classroom is not a boring black and white board and the teacher in a monotone speaking for hours, but rather than a wonderful slide getting your attention, the teacher is starting a topic, sometimes with getting a trash in the classroom and saying, what problem do you see with this trash? So the entire education setup, of course, is changing. Legal education is not away from that. The classrooms are becoming more interesting, and the students are getting a wonderful opportunity to learn not only from their own teachers. So as you are doing a role here, you are disseminating information. So anyone, anywhere, student listening to me can get to know this information. Otherwise, it would confine to the people who meet me in the real life, right? So that's where the entire change is becoming. And on that line, the concept of MOOC, which is the massive open online learning, though it was initiated earlier by the Western universities, and in India also, Swayam platform is greatly, Pathshala is doing that. So we are looking at a country which is highly legally educated as well. Legal education, all legal education has to do, because of technology now, has to stop catering to the limited audiences which are in the classrooms and then pass it on to the masses as well, which is a possibility today because there is technology. Otherwise, no human being had the power to give such massive education. Apart from that, for a student also, I openly actually request all my students and tell them that instead of asking me, ask ChatGPT first. Trust me, I know that 50% of your problems will be solved, because when you interact with artificial intelligence, it's interacting as simple as that with the teacher. So a teacher with a limitation of 24 hours cannot interact with everyone at their own time. But with ChatGPT and other AI tools, you can do that. And once you have got your in fact, increased confusion after that, or something is left out, then please visit the teachers and learn the human critical thinking on the same aspect as well. So as a teacher, it's quite a relief that there are tools to help us, there are technology to make our work interesting, and also open the access to education to everyone.
So, ma'am, are there any new age courses also coming in legal education?
Definitely.
Like we see, there's a BTech in AI and ML that's altogether new. I mean, it's आप बोलिए कि एकदम fresh branch है. So such changes are there in legal education also?
Definitely. So legal education, unlike earlier times when legal education focused primarily on giving the basic of laws, right now is focusing on specialization. So we offer specialization to the students. So the specialization is in artificial intelligence, biodiversity law, sports law, air and space law. So everything that happens right now, diplomacy, because of the affairs in the world going haywire, has also become law, and diplomacy has also become an amazing specialization to have. So anything that's happening in the world, of course, helps the law to grow further. Of course, we wait initially for the theories to establish and then experiment further. But what we definitely do at IILM Law School is that we give an option of elective to the students. So an elective, the student can explore his or her own interest. So that means if I am interested in air and space law, but I'm not confident to take it up as specialization, then I can just choose an elective, see for 3 credits that how does it fit in my time and life, and then take it forward from there. If I like it, go forward. If I don't, then I stop it there. But as a last generation of learner, I would say it's a great opportunity, because we didn't get that option. So we would get the entire basket. We couldn't choose the fruits that could be placed in that.
But ma'am, it is very difficult to align these courses with the emerging trends, because what I notice is these trend they emerge after every 3 years, 2 years down the line. So how do people align these courses?
Of course, it's a lot of hard work on the part of academics. That's what I always keep saying. It's not an easy job. So we look at, okay, last semester I was teaching something. This semester, suddenly, and in fact, for that, the legislative changes that are happening are also an example. So we have to first practice speaking Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita instead of Indian Penal Code, which was on our tongues for 10 years or more as an academic. So firstly, the changes are happening by the force of law. Secondly, all these changes are part of our lives as well. So as an academic, we may think that, oh, this is happening in the outside world, but when we look at our family, the changes are affecting our own education of our own children. It's affecting the way families have now started behaving with one another, the mobile phone consistent use, the privacy issues. Everything affects the academics as the personal level as well. So for us, it's more of a challenge of how to convey in the theoretical level as to what's happening around us. Of course, it takes the processes such as we have academic evaluations, we have discussion with our seniors. So we have a wonderful board of governors with us. Justice Madan Lokar is with us. We have Professor Ranbir Singh, to name a few, with us, who are stalwarts in the judicial setup as well as in the academic setup. That really guides us. So kind of we have saviors around who will tell us whether we are on the right path or not.
Ma'am, so let's come to a point for a guy who is preparing for CLAT. He is in class 12th. He'll be coming to your space next year. So now, what skills he should develop along with his class 12 studies, along with his CLAT preparation, which will really help him in aligning with the course for 5 years, and how you would guide him that at this stage, what all he should do to know more about the specialization which you have actually discussed. Even I was not aware about a couple of specializations.
I will give you a very old time advice, is read the newspapers. Once you know what's happening around you, information is actually power. I will never, I think in this lifetime, will stop saying that. Once you read the newspaper, you know what's happening around you. That's one thing to get information. This is for your knowledge of your mind, I would put it like this. But then there is another thing which I extremely seek from the law students, which is knowledge of the society. So how much soever you may like to sit at your desk and study, I would plead every student to have an idea of the society they live in as well. Because this is my biggest struggle also as a teacher. But at the same time, this is where the gap can come once you start having a career in it. Apart from the academic knowledge, your social intelligence, your emotional intelligence play as much role in this career. Now, law as a career is unique because we are always dealing with human beings. Whatever we do affects some lives somewhere. Now, having that knowledge that my one statement in the court of law or my one piece of writing how it can affect the masses. And there are examples in the past when someone just wrote a letter from the premises of a jail and the Supreme Court of India acted on that. So that's the power of the law, that there can be massive changes based on a simple expression. But to understand that, what a person who is inside a jail is feeling or what are his or her troubles, you must meet them. So how much soever you study, I'll say that spare half an hour to know around you what are the problems of the people around you. Because once you know that and you understand that and you have the knowledge, you can actually express that and help the masses with a single stroke of sentence as well.
See, ma'am is saying one thing which I always say, that you need to link information from a variety of sources. And if you ask me what is knowledge, then knowledge is linked information, nothing else. Yes, true, you need to be informed. That's why we always say make an informed choice. Now, I think I would not take much of your time. One more thing I would like to know for them only, so that, because they don't read newspaper, honestly speaking. They have this habit.
Today, I hope they will, all of us.
They will still watch those videos and reels. So we are trying to disseminate information through these videos and reels only. Let's say for the next decade, let's say for a boy who is entering or a student who is entering to your space in 2025, for next 10 years, what all he should prepare along with the college for 5 years, which will make him ready for 2030, and then after that, whether he is ready to excel, I'm not saying survive, to excel in the legal industry.
So for that, I always say that in the present time, 21st century, you have no option but to be tech savvy. This is one thing. So even if I insisted in few minutes back that you must read newspaper, I'm all for reels as well. It's just that you must be able to discern as to which reel is giving me information or just trying to change my thought process. There are plenty of information which is available in the electronic media as well, which is useful. If you can have that discretion of getting the right information out of all the information that is being given to you, be my guest. Please go ahead and watch the reels all the day as well. But also try to gather the information through that. Now, once you do that, once you are tech savvy, what I mean is not just as a consumer of watching of the reels, but also creating reels. I am all for informal education. So I remember the older times, most of the things such as population control, no tobacco, road safety was taught through media, to the news. Before news, there will be a 2-minute ad telling you about all these social evils which India was suffering. Of course, that was an education for the people who were doing that. Now, at this point of time, in future, I'm very sure all of us will have to, even the academics will have to disseminate the legal information more in the technical way, in a tech-savvy way. So such as I may have to create clippings for my students instead of giving a full lecture. So that tech-savviness, you don't get overnight. It's more of like, oh, when I see my students, like they edit pictures very well. That's a virtue. Because tomorrow in their profession, they can use the same thing to disseminate a legal point as well and to understand that as well. So you must be good with computers, essentially, that's what it means. Secondly, you have to be globally competent, because I really don't know when the gates of the global market can be opened. And even if those are not opened, because we are so far in globalization now, whatever is happening around the world is going to affect us. It does affect us even today. Even if we try to block our walls, those walls are not too high. So global knowledge is extremely important. And traditionally, and I hope in future as well, the legal focus will be always on critical thinking. That must be your Brahmastra, in the sense that you should be able to think critically under every circumstance. That's your savior as well as your unique power over the other professions as well. Apart from that, I would say that being socially conscious really goes a long way. When you know a person, when you know the likings of the people, when you know what troubles them, so that social consciousness is what actually keeps the stalwarts away from the others. Whether it was Mahatma Gandhi or whether it is today's top lawyers, they are extremely socially conscious as to what they are speaking and how it affects others. If you can have tech savviness with you, you can have the global competence levels through. Of course, there are activities at the school. IILM Law School definitely offers you moot courts, client counseling, legal aid, all the opportunities where you can develop that kind of competence. Along with that, we have international faculties constantly visiting us, giving us an exposure that, oh, you're sitting here, but you're listening to somebody who usually sits in US somewhere. So you get that idea, oh, the student in US is also learning the same thing that I am. So that is also being provided. Those opportunities, never miss them. Never oversleep in the morning. Come to college, come to your institute, and I'm sure from the gate to the canteen, you will get ample experiences to give you the exposure to the global competence as well.
So do you mean to say that even in legal education, there are international collaborations?
Yes. So IILM
there is an opportunity to work internationally also, globally also.
Yes.
For these kids.
Yes, there's actually a wonderful and old age concept as well of the student exchange. So we have student exchange, we are exploring the opportunities of faculty exchange as well. So, and of course that is long term, but in the short term also we have constant visits from people who are traveling to India to just interact with our students. All you have to do, that's what I say, is enter the premises, go to the room which is informed to you prior, and sit there and listen, and you will be realizing one day that, oh, I didn't know, I didn't do anything, but I know so many things just by my presence in the campus.
Well, guys, so this is, I think, something good for you. I'm assuming that. What I can summarize is, number one, before you join a law school, be aware, fully aware. Number two, have a decent base of critical reading, critical thinking, and evolving your, I would say, critical reasoning base, because, you know, we people are from that segment who have taught people for competitive exams. Then your tech base, your tech knowledge should be strong. Tech knowledge is not that you know how to operate a reel or on YouTube, but understanding what is AI, what is legal in AI, what is cyber law, all these things. And most importantly, जो मैम ने बोला, उससे मुझे एक चीज़ समझ में आती है that we aspire for the best one. That is, yes, I understand हम सब जो भी तैयारी करता है क्लैट की NLU के लिए aspire करता है. But यहाँ interact करने के बाद में मुझको तो ऐसा लग रहा है that other than NLUs also, there are few private places where अगर हमको awareness है तो we can look at spending our 5 years. So guys, wish you all the best and keep rocking, I would say. I'll be back with more such interactions in variety of fields. So people who are watching us, especially looking for a legal education segment, I think you would have gained something, and this would have given you a wonderful idea about how to make an informed choice, what exactly you do in these 5 years, what are the new age specializations, etc. So guys, thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure.
Wish you all the best, guys, from our side. And I would just say one thing, make informed choice and keep rocking. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.